You know who's always on the money? CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter. And Bill, credit to the Nets role players to make it a three-point game with less than 2 minutes to play. Philly led by as many as 22. They went 0 for 8 from the floor in the final 8 minutes. That's not winning basketball. That's holding on basketball against some role players. What's your reaction to how this game played out?
Yeah, the context for me, Akeem, is pretty interesting. I spent the last 2 or 3 days talking to a ton of GMs, executive scouts, players, former players, about what they see in the Nets. And the answers were pretty spread out. But a common theme was a lot of folks don't trust Philly, don't believe in Philly in the playoffs, don't know they can go out and create offense when things get tight. And you just said it. We saw that at the end of a regular season game when even Kyrie Irving was sitting down. It was a bunch of other guys for Brooklyn, and Philly struggled. I think that's the big takeaway from tonight.
Yeah, Kyrie went for the team-high 37 points, 9 assists. He looked great. And I would ask you this. Would you argue that if KD and James Harden play in this game, the Nets win by double digits?
I can tell you that 5 or 6 general managers and a bunch of other really smart folks around the NBA would argue that's exactly the case. And it's a big if, but if those 3 guys are playing together, that's only happened 7 times this season, but when they've done it, they've played really, really well as a trio. Yeah, I think they dominate this Philly team. It didn't happen, but it would have happened, and it would have been a huge statement and certainly reinforced those people. It's not everybody, but those people who believe if KD gets healthy, if Kyrie is healthy, if Harden gets healthy, if those 3 are together in the playoffs, a lot of folks think they're head and shoulders the best team in the NBA.
Well, it goes down as a victory for the 76ers, 123-117. Embiid leading the way with 39 points, 13 rebounds. Kyrie, again, goes for 37 points, 9 assists. What will your big takeaway be when you look back at this game?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple things. For Brooklyn, you have to have at least 2 of those 3 guys of that big 3. As good as Kyrie Irving played, they were down 22 for the most part with Kyrie on the floor. You can't count on the bench to make that kind of run. And the other thing is you need someone not named Joel Embiid to step up, especially late in the game. And Embiid did not have a great fourth quarter when he came back in the game. But Ben Simmons, who's really talented, who might be, I think he is, for my money, Akeem, the best defensive player in the year. I'd certainly vote for him for Defensive Player of the Year. But offensively, a guy that can't shoot, a guy that can't hit free throws, missed 1 or 2 big ones down the stretch. You need to find a way for Ben Simmons to be more effective in the fourth quarter, because if one of your 2 superstars on a championship caliber team can't play even like a guy that's an above average player late in the game offensively, you're going to have some problems in the postseason.
Yeah, and the guy that makes the free throws is the guy who's in the MVP conversation, Joel Embiid, 10 of 11 from the charity stripe, getting it done. Little over a month away from the NBA playoffs, Bill. Philly now owns the tiebreaker over Brooklyn as the 76ers take a 1-game lead in the East. Brooklyn is the favorite to win the East and the finals. Are you continuing to fade the Nets, or are you backing Brooklyn to at least win the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, so I've been fading the Nets all year, which is why I called a bunch of people around the league, and I didn't get good answers. I got an entire range. I had one GM who was really smart, who's had a lot of success, tell me the Nets are no better than 4 or 5 other teams in the Eastern Conference. Had another GM, equally as smart, equally as impressive, laugh at that notion and tell me they're head and shoulders above the rest. So I'm probably going to fade them relative to where Vegas has them, Akeem. I think the range is really wide. I think they could flame out in a second-round series. They haven't played together. They don't have rhythm. I don't know what to make of some of these injuries. But we saw in the few games where these 2 guys, where 2 of these guys have been together, where all 3 guys have been together, I mean, they're just so overwhelmingly talented. Their offensive skills are insane. So I'm going to fade them, but a little more reluctantly, with a lot more respect than perhaps I've given them over the course of the last few months, if they get healthy.
Well, it's going to be a wait to see, because it's going to be wait to see how Philadelphia responds rest of way. It's going to be wait to see if James Harden and Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, once the playoffs get started, if they can actually back all of the expectations. Because really, Bill, that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, we talk about the regular season so much and how it might be a preview of what's to come in the playoffs, but we're not really going to know until we really see them when push comes to shove and we get into playoff basketball, because it's completely different than what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's the exact point that a high-level scout who helps run an Eastern Conference team's scouting department told me, which is they're talented, they're amazing. I just can't answer your question, he said to me, because we don't know what's going to happen when they get punched in the nose. We just haven't seen it. Are they going to be remarkable together? Are some of the things you've seen in the past going to come out where Kevin Durant can be a little sensitive, where James Harden, with all respect to his talent, has not played well, especially as a shooter in closeout games often in his career? Kyrie Irving is amazingly talented, but he's also mercurial at times with his teammates. I think it is the biggest question mark and the most important question mark in the NBA, Akeem. We know they're talented. I just don't think I or anybody has a real grasp of what they're going to be, how healthy they're going to be, and if they're healthy, what kind of rhythm they're going to be in together. You said it, when the pressure rolls around, because they win a championship or they fail. That's not true for Boston this year. It's not true for Miami. It's only true for teams like the Clippers, the Lakers, maybe Philly, and certainly Brooklyn. If Brooklyn doesn't win an NBA championship, it's a failure, and that's a different road to travel in the postseason when there's that kind of pressure.
And that's why we watch the games, because we love the mystery. I'm certainly intrigued by what's going to happen here a month from now. For now, though, the Nets a game back behind the 76ers in the Eastern Conference. Bill Reiter breaking down for us here on CBS Sports HQ. Bill, thank you.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.